A lot of people talking about whether the Niners should buy or sell at the trade deadline. Turns out they might do both. What's up? Welcome to this week's episode of LaCohn and LaRocca. That's Tyler C. LaRocca. I'm Grant Cohn. Today's episode is brought to you by Bofa. Bofa is sponsoring today's show. And if you're asking, should the Niners trade Jauan, Jennings, Brandon Aiyuk, the answer could be, if the question is which one should they trade, the answer could be Bofa. Both of them. Let's start with the first one, Jauan Jennings. He seems disgruntled. He wants a new contract he's not going to get. He requested a trade during the offseason.
Yeah.
Should the 49ers make his dreams come true? Do you think a team would want him with these 5 broken ribs? I have a tough time believing he's actually playing with 5 broken ribs. But do you think the Niners could trade such a player, should trade such a player? Real quick, before you give your answer, just know that the great Ricky Scoops, who blesses us with his presence every so often on Twitter, said that the Patriots are looking to trade for a wide receiver. The Patriots, and of course, the Giants and the Steelers could be as well.
Yeah, I mean, Ricky says the vague things and then leaves. Yeah,
I love Ricky for that.
I think their writing's on the wall with Jauan. I think it's just the sideline blow up, and then the one that really got me was Trent's comments about Jauan, where he basically said, like, bro, shut up. Like, we're all playing hurt. And that, like, Trent's very quiet. He's usually always got everyone's back. And when Trent said that, I was like, oh, Jauan doesn't even have, like, the locker room seemingly anymore. Like, it seems like everyone's over it. So, yeah, I think Jauan's gone. I think the writing's on the wall. I think the Niners would be willing to part with him for like a 6th rounder. Like, I think they just try and get rid of him.
I think once you request a trade, it's hard to come back from that, especially when you're not one of the best players on the team and you're asking for more money than you're worth. I think players have a pretty good idea of what everyone's worth. And when you're making this big stink and everyone's like, who does he think he is? It doesn't really do you any favors. Also, I feel like Jauan used to be an integral member of this team. He was very social and, connected. And maybe it's hard to feel that way when you know you're going to be gone. But what interested me the most after the game, he said what he said at his locker. And then when he was done, put on his headphones and walked out. He didn't say anything to any of his teammates. And it made me realize that he hasn't really been interacting with his teammates in the locker room this season. It feels like he's already gone, which players like that, you probably should trade.
Yeah, I think like that's the biggest thing is Jauan's he's usually Kendrick Bourne, right? Like he's usually everyone's friend. He's hanging out with everyone, dancing with everyone, dapping everyone up, keeping everyone positive and hungry. And he's been kind of the opposite.
Right, because the last couple of years, it was Debo and Aiyuk that were the surly ones. Jauan was the one that was just blocking his ass off and playing for the love of the game.
Yeah, and he's just kind of like, it seems like the same kind of thing with BA is contract negotiations kind of hurt his feelings. George Kittle said they can be rough, especially with the Niners. And I think his feelings got hurt, and now he's playing hurt. He's not playing well. And then on top of that, Kendrick Bourne basically took his spot. Kendrick Bourne has 300 receiving yards in the last 2 weeks. So,
Does the fact that Jauan Jennings opened his mouth and said that he has 5 broken ribs and low ankle and high ankle sprains make it harder for the 49ers to trade him?
Oh, for sure. I think they're going to get a lot less. Like I said, I think they're going to just try. They're just like, hey, 6th, 7th rounder, you guys want him? And then if someone says, yeah, they'll be like, all right, cool. See you later.
But once they trade him at the deadline and they get the 6th or the 7th rounder, like, doesn't it open the door for me to walk in and say, you guys mismanaged this? You should have traded him in the offseason when he requested the trade. You might have got something for him if you traded him in the offseason when he was healthy. You waited around. He got hurt. And you traded him for a 6th. Well freaking done, man. Executive of the year.
I mean, for sure. I think they didn't expect Jauan of all people to like pout so hard. Like, I think that's like the biggest surprise is I don't think anyone really expected.
Are you surprised?
I didn't think he'd be this much of a like. I thought he was after he got his incentives. That was incentive enough to be like, all right, I need a ball out so I could secure a bigger contract.
Maybe he felt that way for a week, but then he got hurt, and it's like, oh, I'm not going to hit these incentives.
Yeah,
And I think again, like you mentioned, the reemergence of Kendrick Bourne really was not something that anyone could predict.
Yeah,
I think the Niners were hoping that Demarcus Robinson would do this stuff, but it's been Bourne.
yeah. I think Kendrick Bourne kind of threw a hitch in Jauan's wagon, and like again, I think like for the trade, right? Is I think they're probably gonna try and like get him to someone that has an edge rusher, like the Giants. I know there's like a rumor or people were talking about maybe an idea of like Jauan and picks for Thibodeau, because they're looking for a receiver. I'd even do BA for Thibodeau, but yeah, I think Jauan. I think the writing's on the wall. I think he's gone. I think the sideline dust up with Kyle, and then the Trent Williams comment was just the nail in the coffin for me.
I have a theory. I feel like Kyle is so. I mean, he's so enamored with skill position players and wide receivers in general.
Yeah,
but he's not particularly good at drafting them or anything in particular. But he has so many misses, Danny Gray and the Jalen Hurds and the Dante Pettis's, so many misses
yeah,
that when he hits, which is, not often, he wants to hold on for dear life. And he also wants people to understand that he got one right. So with Jauan, it seems like they've been unwilling to pay him what he wants, but also unwilling to let him go because they do this. They cling to their few success stories. And I think they got to learn to let it go, man. It was a good pick. You already got way more than you should have gotten out of that draft pick. He was a 7th round pick. It's enough.
Yeah.
He needs to start the next chapter of his career somewhere else.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's time for him to go. I think I get being worried about the receiving core, but Jauan's not even been good this year. Like that's the other problem is he hasn't even been good.
No. And again, like Walsh would say, you either get rid of a guy you're early or late. And this is late for Jauan.
Yeah.
You should have got rid of him.
In the
got rid of him, traded him last year. And it's like, they've been doing this for a long time. What if he's the 3rd wide receiver to request a trade since Kyle Shanahan's been here? The first was Debo. Imagine if they had given him what he wanted, traded him. They could have gotten at least 1 first-round pick for him. Then trade Brandon Aiyuk when he requested a trade. You might get a high 2 for him. Mm-hmm. The Niners could be one of the most loaded young teams in the league right now. Instead, they're injured and old.
Yeah, but I will say about BA, like I supported the contract. BA was a top 10 receiver.
You were wrong.
He was phenomenal. No, Brock Purdy is the one that made the contract bad. He is the one that destroyed his kneecap. So I think, yeah, but I agree. I think Debo was he should have been traded. Jauan, I think, should have been traded. Once he started making a fuss about it, I would have, yeah. We said this all offseason, though,
Dazza says, can the Niners not package Jennings a day 2 pick and a day 2 pick for a defensive end? We have enough weapons with Kittle and Pearsall coming back.
I believe that's what
when's Pearsall coming back?
Yeah. And how quickly is he going to be gone again?
Yeah, and what about Kittle? So, yeah, I think we're talking about that. I think they should trade Jennings, even if they can't get back a player. If all they get back is a pick, good. It's time. Bill Kennedy says, from practice video, I've seen it seems like they're practicing on AstroTurf. How much practice percentage is AstroTurf? Maybe that's the injury problem. No, they're practicing on grass.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure it's grass.
It's grass. All right. So there's Jauan Jennings. We're talking about players the Niners could potentially trade. There's a lot.
Yeah.
The other one is the big one, Brandon Aiyuk. We know the Niners wanted to trade him, but Kyle Shanahan overruled everyone because he needs to pay the few good draft picks he's ever made. Mm-hmm. So they sign him. He gets hurt. They try to trade him this offseason, according to Aiyuk, and it wasn't refuted by Lynch. And then now, I would imagine they're trying to trade him again. Do you think they can get anyone to take his contract without actually putting him in a game first?
I think they can, because I think a team like the Steelers really liked him. I think the Steelers loved BA. They were the ones that we were going to trade him to. I just don't. I don't understand the BA situation. It is so confusing to me what went wrong with this situation. Like it seemed like he ran to Kyle, I want to be here, I want to be back. And then Kyle's like, I want you here, I want you back. And then
I have a
they
theory.
like,
Tell me if you think this theory holds water.
okay.
He's on the team still because of Kyle and Kyle's ability to overrule everyone in the organization when he
Okay.
wants to.
Yeah.
And he pulled that card with Aiyuk. And I think maybe there's only so many times you could pull it, especially when Aiyuk doesn't work out. So it's possible that Kyle's stock is down in the front office. His power has been diminished. And the people that wanted to trade Aiyuk, which is everyone else, have a little bit more sway with the owners.
Yeah, but still, why? Now, why?
What do you mean?
Like, why would you want to trade him right now?
For the same reason you wanted to trade him before you extended him. You never wanted him to begin with. And maybe the Yorks don't want to spend this money. Like, it's a lot of money. They're trying to invest in soccer, Tyler.
Yeah.
How much money are they going to throw away on the Brandon Aiyuk project before they say, you know what, this is awful. We don't want to do it anymore.
My thing with BA is I just don't get like it seems like everyone is weird about it. Like, we can't get an answer of like when he's going to be out besides this last recent week. Like, I feel like if this was anyone else's, I said this before, if this was anyone else's number one receiver, right? If this was DK Metcalf on the Steelers, if this was anyone, you would have communication like, dude, he's making great progress. He's going to be back around this week. Like, we can't wait to have him back. But with the Niners, like, hey, where's Brandon? It's like, oh yeah.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah. He'll
Not close. Doesn't that make you feel he's either not close and his recovery's been delayed, or they're telling you don't get your hopes up that he's going to ever play for this team again. If we had it our way, we'd trade him. So when is he coming back? I don't know. Maybe never.
Yeah, like
I don't know. This team, this stadium, I don't know. The next time he plays, he comes here as an opponent. I don't know.
Yeah, like that's the thing is like one, I don't even know his stock because again, his knee is exploded. Like that knee was cooked. So I don't know what stock you would give. So if I were looking to trade him, where would you even set your value? Would you set your value at dumping the contract, or would you be like, no, we still believe he's an elite level receiver, so we want
That's why I feel like they're never going to trade Brandon Aiyuk, because they could say we want to trade him, but they're going to want to get like the kind of offers they had for him 2 years ago or a year ago. And to me, now that he's on this contract and he messed up his knee and he's older, you're trying to get someone to take the contract off your hands. It's a albatross.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like you might even get a higher pick for Jauan at this point than you get for BA.
I can see where you're going with that, because like, how do you entice someone to take that contract?
Like, unless the Steelers are just super desperate for having BA back, but outside of the Steelers, like if you're the Patriots, like, well, we need a receiver now. Like he's not going to.
Yeah, be back we'll take that contract before even seeing him play a game.
Yeah, because it's like he wouldn't. I don't think he'd pass a physical right now, would he?
I don't know. Like, I don't know, but like, wouldn't you want to see him run a route, take a hit, make it through 2 games without re-injuring himself before taking on $30 million a year for a wide receiver? I mean, wow, that's a big leap. And it's not just trading for the players, trading for the contract too. And the contract sucks.
BA. I hope he comes back and I hope he balls out. Because I really like BA. But I just don't understand. It seems like he hates the Niners and the Niners hate him. Like I've never seen, this is the weirdest situation I've ever seen. It's like,
it seems to me like he has a relationship with Kyle. It was rocky at first, but those two are on the same page, at least somewhat.
Yeah.
I don't know that Aiyuk really has a good relationship with anyone else in the organization. I mean, a lot of times you hear people like Jimmy Garoppolo or Brock or Trent talk about the Yorks. I want to thank the Yorks. Never heard Brandon say anything like that. We saw it last year when John Lynch tried to hug him. He like kept him at arm's length. I don't know. I think maybe he just has not done the political stuff. I don't feel like he's the kind of guy who would bend a knee or kiss an ass. He's not going to do it. And I think maybe all those other players did at some point.
Yeah. My assumption with the BA thing is unless someone is willing to like trade something crazy, I could only see him being traded after the season, like after he plays a few games. But even then, I think if he comes in and he plays well, Kyle's like, I'm not getting rid of him.
I also think there's another thing with BA. I feel like we've been talking about it for years, but like you're either in or you're out on the Niners. There's an inner
Yeah.
group. And even though he
Yeah.
got paid, he's never been in. He's always been on the periphery. And I think we're seeing this year the players who feel that they're not in are pissed.
Yeah,
Devondre Campbell was the tip of the iceberg, but it wasn't just him.
and I agree. Like, and that's another thing, right? Like, Purdy and Pearsall and all them were working out, but you never heard of like Purdy like going to see how Aiyuk is doing. You've never heard of like you don't hear about anyone hanging out with BA. The only person was Debo. Debo was his best friend,
Right.
and
And we
like
saw it when like Purdy got married and Aiyuk wasn't there, and Aiyuk got married, Purdy wasn't there. Like those are little things that are that significant.
and yeah, and a lot of people like be like, "Oh, you're overreacting." It's like not really. Like every quarterback and their wide receiver one usually have some sort of relationship. Let's like,
I grew up with Steve Young and Jerry Rice being BFFs. They did
yeah,
everything together, golf. I'm just saying, like Steve went out of his way, and it seemed very like calculated on Steve's part. Like I got to get this team on my side. What do I do? Well, I need Jerry on my side.
like I
Jerry's
don't
my
know,
best friend.
like tin hat. Like maybe does Purdy like resent BA because it's like, well, people think I'm only good because of you. You know, like I don't know. Like maybe it's a tin hat where it's like
Is
Purdy's
it
like, well, I don't
possible that
need
BA
BA.
is still upset that he didn't get the ball much in the Super Bowl?
I don't
I,
know.
I don't think that you get over losing the Super Bowl that way. I don't think Aiyuk's ever gotten over losing the Super Bowl that way. And I think them holding on to that Super Bowl losing team was a bad decision. You
You
got to
know who
clear
BA
out.
was close with though?
What?
You know what quarterback BA was good friends with?
Jaden Daniels,
No. What Niner quarterback BA was very good friends with?
Trey Lance.
That
That's
was his
right.
boy.
Maybe they'll bring Trey Lance back. All
I
right.
don't know.
They could trade for Trey Lance at the deadline. There's another Trey who may be available. Trey Hendrickson, elite edge rusher. If the Niners see the thing about Trey Hendrickson, he's in his 30s
Yeah.
and he's on the last year of his deal. So it's hard to ask from the Bengals perspective. That's where he plays. It'd be hard to ask for like a first round pick, even a second round pick on a player you're going to have for like half a year.
That's what I'm saying is I don't like the Trey Hendrickson thing. I don't.
Would you trade a third for him?
I would trade a fourth, and that would be my highest.
I'd trade a third for him.
We need offensive line so bad.
That's true.
We need offensive
That's
line
true.
and we need safeties. And if we trade BA, we need a receiver. We need a wide receiver one that can stay
I just
on the
think if
field.
you could replace Bosa, you could have a good defense even without Fred Warner. Because I think Tatum Bethune's a good run defender, and I think that their biggest problem right now is pass defense, not run defense. And until they get a pass rusher, they're going to continue to struggle against the pass. But if they got Trey Hendrickson, I think that defense would be really good. But you're right; they'd still have to fix the offensive line. They have the worst run game in the league. Trey Hendrickson doesn't fix any of that.
Yeah. And that's my biggest thing is like, that's again why I think they need to go after Thibodeau. Because I think what you could do is you could package Jauan in a, fifth, sixth rounder and then say, and we get Thibodeau. You guys get the receiver you need. You could sign him. He's cheap right now. And we get Thibodeau. We could sign him. He'll be cheaper. And then you could save like a big pick that you'd use on Trey Hendrickson for a guard or a safety or a draft. I feel like if Niners are going to buy, I just don't see them buying on Trey Hendrickson with Fred Warner out. You know? Like, I feel like that would be a hard sell. Because then someone like you would be like, why would you buy a elite level edge rusher for a high draft pick when Fred Warner and Nick Bosa are injured?
Well, what I would say, the reason I'm in favor of them going after Hendrickson for a third is you don't have to necessarily extend him. If he leaves and signs a big contract with another team, the Niners very well could get a third round compensatory pick the following year. So they could kind of get their draft capital back, or they could extend him and trade Nick Bosa, which I kind of like that idea. But but the other point I want to make, I think it's so interesting that the Niners are always focused on the D line. They throw a lot of draft picks at it. They spend a lot of money on it. And when it's time to get another, like it's the deadline and Bosa's out, you can get Trey Hendrickson most likely if you want to. If you have these guys, elite defensive linemen are available every year on the trade market if you have the draft capital. If you want an average starting offensive lineman at the trade deadline, good luck. I don't know where you find those guys. Those guys almost never get traded. And I think the Niners should keep that in mind when they're drafting. You have to draft offensive linemen.
Yeah.
You're not going to get them at the deadline. And when you got Trent Williams that 1 year, that was a one-off.
Yeah, for sure.
Washington was in shambles, and you had a relationship with him. So,
well, they almost killed him. So it's completely different situation. Like,
that's true.
You have a dude
you're not
going to
take advantage of another situation like that again.
Like,
do you know how many offensive linemen the Niners have drafted in 9 years with Kyle Shanahan as the head coach?
Isn't it like 1 or 2?
10 in 9 years. 10
well,
and
aren't they all in like they're all in like the 5th round of
okay, how many offensive linemen have they drafted in the first 3 rounds
0
in 9 years?
Oh, first 3? I would 1.
No. 3. McGlinchey, Banks, and Pooney. 3 in 9 years.
Drafted none. Oh, I thought you said first round. They've drafted 0 in the first round, though, right?
Oh, McGlinchey. 1 in round 1, 1 in round 2, and 1 in round 3. Skill position players they've drafted since 2017. 24.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't even count that.
It's almost 3 times more important in Kyle's mind than the offensive line. When in reality, you got 5 skill position players, you got 5 linemen. They're kind of like.
I think it's because though is the whole like you see Mac Jones, right? The difference between Mac and Purdy when they're on, right? Because Purdy needs a little time. Purdy's better off play action than Mac. Mac's better at snapping and throwing than Purdy. And so the offensive line issues are a lot more glaring with Purdy because Purdy just needs us like a half a second longer. Mac is what Kyle loves to run with Jimmy. So you don't need as strong as offensive line if you're snapping and throwing, you know? So I think he's obsessed with the skill position players because with good enough skill position players, he covers up for a mediocre line.
Yeah, but the problem with Kyle is that ultimately his quarterbacks get hurt quickly and often. So, I mean, Mac's playing well and his style is, helping.
You do need offensive line.
He's going to get hurt. He is hurt.
Yeah.
He's going to keep getting hurt. Brock's going to keep getting hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So
Adrian Martinez is going to come in and get hurt.
Yeah, like it's just like 2022. Hugo de Jesus says, "Can we keep anyone healthy if we trade?" Scared. Yeah, it's funny. The Niners are getting linked to Trey Hendrickson last week, and his back tightened up. It's like, man, bro, all you gotta do is get associated with the Niners.
I saw them linked to Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb, and I was like, please God, no. They're gonna get injured before they get off the plane.
That's true. It's Nick for real says, having Bijan on my fantasy for 6 weeks, we should sell the farm for him and move Christian to the Debo role with Ricky and Bourne out wide. They're not trading Bijan. How about that?
Sell the farm for Bijan. I am with it, Nick. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in a dynasty fantasy league. If I had Bijan on my team, he'd be on my team until he retired. Guess what? I have Jahmyr Gibbs, and I'm never trading him. And he's not half the player that Bijan is. Why not play Nick Martin?
I've been asking the same question. They do
because he's not a Mike linebacker. Mike linebackers are. I asked Tatum Bethune today to explain the difference between a Mike linebacker and outside linebacker, and he's like, "Look, they're both hard positions to play, but if you're playing Will, you're concerned about doing your job. You're playing Mike, you're concerned about everyone doing their job. So he's not a Mike, at least not yet. They haven't been training him to do that. He's a Will." And they like D. Winters in that role right now. So if D. Winters gets hurt, sprains an ankle, watch Nick Martin play.
Didn't Kyle say, though, like today, that like if Nick Martin wants to play, like now's his time to show it, basically? Now's his time to get on the field?
Yeah, someone says, someone asked him, is he going to get an opportunity to play now that Fred's down? And he said, pretty much, absolutely. Yes. So we'll see what he can do. All right, let's switch gears. Brock Purdy was limited at today's practice. I put out the video. I think everyone's seen it by now. He was moving around. He was throwing a little bit. Looked a lot like he looked right before he went and lost to the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Do you think given the fact that he was limited on a Wednesday, which means he, barring a setback, he's going to have a full week of practice. He won't do everything in practice, but he'll do a lot of it. Do you think that he'll play?
Dude, do I think he will? Yes. I don't think he should. If he is not 100%, do not put him on the field. Like, there's no point. Mac's already beat to hell. If Mac is, and they said he's more limited than Mac. If he's more limited than the dude that's literally dying, why play him? Just let him get healthy. Because I don't want to go and see Jaguars. If I have to have one of them be a statue, I want it to be Mac. Purdy can't be a statue.
That felt like a key piece of information, right? And not to toot my own horn, but I asked that question because he mentioned it a few weeks ago. He freely gave up the information that Mac was more limited than Brock before the Jaguars game because that was their rationale for starting Brock, even though they freaking cleared him, which to me, I would never forgive him if I was Brock. But now, so I was like, so what's the deal now? I even asked it like, so does that mean that Mac's more limited than Brock? He was like, no. Brock's more limited than Mac. Okay, so that makes me feel like the
He should not play.
organization
Yeah.
isn't pushing Brock back out there. If he wants to practice and he wants to stay, in shape, great. God love you, man. But I think Mac is ahead of him on the depth chart right now because of,
Yeah.
he
I
just
would
is.
keep it that way. I would keep Mac at QB1. Let Brock be back up. Let Brock get 100% healthy. There is no point. There is a 0 point of forcing Brock to play against Falcons. Because then you're going to start your own QB controversy. If Brock goes in and gets his teeth kicked in by the Falcons, has another multi-turnover game, you're just going to start way more drama for yourself.
And here's the thing. We just saw the Falcons defense a few days ago. It kicks ass. It made Josh Allen look so frustrated. He played pretty poorly. They didn't give up many points. They bring a lot of pressure. They hit the quarterback a lot. They're a better defense statistically than Jacksonville. And Jacksonville really, not only did they beat Brock Purdy, they hurt Brock Purdy. Now, here's why I think Brock wants to play. I don't know if they'll let him, but Kittle's coming back. What if the other side of it is like, what if Matt goes out there with Kittle, plays well, wins? Isn't that kind of quarterback controversy too? Like, hey, man,
but again,
Matt's hurt too, but he's playing.
But so, okay, if you're Kyle, would I rather have to deal with, dude, Mac's playing well, or would I have to be like, bro, you just hurt Brock again?
Yeah.
What one would I rather have to hear?
Thank you.
Like from ownership and the GMs? I would much rather have
you
to hear,
rushed him back a second time.
Yes. I would much rather have to hear, dude, Mac is elite. He is the best player in the world. Than, bro, you just broke Brock's ankle. Or you tore. Dude, could you imagine if Brock goes in there hurt and tears that ligament?
Yep.
Oh my God. Like, that would be insane. So
that's true.
So
go out and practice. Look tough, and then ultimately when you start Mac on Sunday, everyone will applaud you for showing restraint and wisdom.
Yes, and let Purdy be QB2 and Adrian Martinez be emergency QB3 and have Purdy be there. Like, he's not fully healthy, but if he needs to go, he'll go. That's because he's our guy. He's our franchise guy. You could still play that whole hoorah, thing for Purdy, but I just
feel like if I were Purdy, now watching the Monday night game might change my feelings. I might watch that game being like, my toe hurts. But with Kittle coming back, I feel like I'd want to play with Kittle because the run game will look better. The pass game will be better. I mean, there's a chance that Mac Jones goes out and plays well if he beats the Falcons the week after Josh Allen lost to the Falcons, Brock's in trouble. Now, I'm not picking the Niners to beat the Falcons. The Falcons look pretty serious, but I don't know, man. I mean, we haven't even seen Mac's been playing well with Kendrick Bourne and Jake Tonjes. We haven't seen him with George Kittle yet.
I'm a lot lower on the Falcons. Like, I get it. They beat the Bills, but I think it was just his one of those weeks.
Like, if you were Brock, wouldn't you want to not let the world see what Mac Jones looks like with George Kittle?
I agree. Like, if Pearsall and Kittle are playing, you don't get many games of Pearsall if you're Brock. So, like,
I don't think Pearsall's playing.
Okay, well,
I've been monitoring it because I cover the team and because he's on my fantasy team, and I took him in the 5th round, and I'm regretting it. But thank goodness I picked up Kendrick Bourne, man. He's saving everyone's season right now.
Yeah, I mean, again, man, if I was Purdy, I would not risk it because you also play the Giants next week, right? No, next week's Houston.
Dude, you play the Texans the week after, who have an even better defense than the Falcons, and then you play the Giants, who have a great pass rush.
Line. Yeah, their defensive line's scary. So if I am the 49ers, I am not rushing Brock back because he is about to play some really, and I think the Falcons' defensive line is not that good. They bring a lot of pressure, like they bring a lot of blitzes. Their defensive line straight up is not that good. So,
and that's why I feel like it's such a bad matchup for Brock. Yes. Because at least the last year or two, he's been holding onto the ball a very long time. And to beat the Falcons, you need to hold on to the ball like the shortest time possible. And that hasn't really been his game recently. Maybe he can do it.
Yeah, I think the Falcons are very beatable. And here's another thing. if you're Brock Purdy and you go in, you can't use I'm hurt excuse. You can't keep using that if you lose. Then stop playing. Say I'm hurt. Like, I don't want to see you
Mac
go in
wins
there.
or loses, he doesn't do that.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to see you go in, get choke slammed, and then be like, oh, it's my toe, man. I got to sit out another few weeks. Like, Doc, then stop playing.
Yep.
Like, so, my big thing is, will he play? I hope not, but I have a feeling he probably will. Yes.
I don't think he will.
I don't think he will. So I hope not. I
feel like week 4, the Jaguars game? I feel like the organization was really eager for him to come back, and that's why the evidence is they cleared him. I don't think he's going to be cleared. I think he's going to be questionable for the game. I don't think he wasn't even questionable for that game. And I think when Kyle said that Brock's more limited than Mac, that was the tip-off.
Yeah. I mean, if he's, and that would be my.
It's like, I'm just going to play the healthier quarterback. It's not a quarterback controversy. I'm just playing the healthier quarterback. Okay.
Yeah. Like, I would be like, I would straight up, if I was Kyle, tell Brock, you're not playing this week. I love that you're practicing, but you're not playing. Like, I want you 100%. I want you to be able to do what you do. Play off, play action, run around, get free. I do not want you sitting in the pocket like Mac. You are 3-4 inches shorter, and you have a way weaker arm. If you are sitting in the pocket like that, you are going to get killed.
And if he comes back, gets hurt, it's scandalous. If he comes back, loses, struggles, stays healthy, bad look.
Yep.
But if Mac Jones goes out there and loses, he's the backup quarterback. If he goes out there and wins, Kyle's the genius coach of the year.
Yep.
You're right. And it's way better to start Mac from Kyle's perspective.
Yeah. And that's another thing, dude, because like we just said, he plays another 2 good defensive lines. What if he isn't 100% and it's just lingering and he still plays and he either loses or barely wins, but he's still hurt, and then he has to go to Houston and play that defensive line hurt, and then he's probably going to get further hurt, and then he has to go play the Giants in that defensive line further hurt. Like, you're just going to ruin him.
I don't think he's going to play, man. I mean, I don't think he plays this week, and then next week on turf against a better defense, the week after that on turf against a crazy pass rush. I could see him sitting out for a while.
And that's what I said. I think that's the only worrisome part is if you're Brock and you sit out till that Rams game, I don't know if you're going back in. Like,
well, at that point, like, he could wait until Mac physically can't play anymore, because the way the Niners protect their quarterbacks, he might just be like, you know what? I don't have to make this a quarterback controversy. Mac will just get beaten to hell like I did, and everyone will need me to come back and play.
I mean, yeah, that is a good point. Like, if I was Brock, I'd be like, sure, like, let's just let it be a QB controversy.
Yeah, like, no offense to Mac, but like, I know what it's like to play behind that offensive line, man. Give it a month.
Like, that's my thing. Like, if Mac rattles off the next 3 weeks of wins, I see him playing against the Rams. I don't see them.
Did you hear that Pooney's now on the practice, the injury report in practice today? They finally acknowledged that his knee hurts. They didn't practice him today.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Niners also do that, right? They force you to play hurt, and then when you play bad, they're like, oh yeah, let's just throw him on the injury report. He's hurt again. It's like,
doesn't it feel like the Niners have been sort of putting pressure on players to come back a little too
Raheem
soon
Mostert said that years ago.
He said it.
And everyone
no one really cared because the Niners were winning and they thought he was a whiner. But you see it and it bites him. It almost feels like karma sometimes. It's like, all right, well, this is what you wanted.
He said it.
You wanted him to give it a shot.
He's like, they wonder why we're always the most injured team. It's because we can never rest. We can never get a day off, even when we're not feeling it. And then it's like, and everyone's like, you're a whiner. Like, he's a bitch. He's just mad he left. And then it's like, oh, wait, we've been the most injured team like 8 of Kyle's 9 years here.
Oh, wow. Now Brock Purdy was just rushed back. Like, you don't care when it's the 31-year-old running back on the way out, but when it's the 25-year-old franchise quarterback, it's like, oh, yeah, maybe that's a concerning pattern. More concerns. Ricky Pearsall.
Dude.
Still didn't practice today. They didn't put him on IR after the knee injury, which suggests that they expect you to miss, 3 games tops, because you could put him on IR, bring him back after 4. So either they always knew it was going to be 3 games or it's taking longer than they expected. The thing about Ricky is that he's a hell of a wide receiver when he's on the field. It's starting to seem like that is going to be, like seeing Haley's Comet.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and jinx it again. I'm out on Ricky Pearsall. He's just like Jalen Hurd. Last time I said that, he came back and balled. But yeah, dude, it's the same story with Ricky every time. He is always hurt. Again, I don't fully blame him. It was a Purdy injury. I'm gonna just start calling him that now. When Purdy throws a ball way out of reach, that you have to overextend and hurt yourself to get it. They're not even hospital balls; they're Purdy balls. So I can't fully blame him, but dude, I don't get it. I don't understand it. Jauan got hurt the same way with a Purdy ball, so did BA. So I can't fully blame him, but
He seems like the kind of guy who's only going to be effective when he's close to 100% healthy.
I think his
And
speed
if
is
he's
what
got a
makes
little
him,
bit
yeah.
of something in his, he's not going to play. And maybe that's the smartest thing to do, because when the Niners rush these players back, bad things happen. But first round pick, you're here to replace Deebo Samuel. One of the reasons they replaced Deebo Samuel was that he wasn't available enough. Yikes. This guy's going to be available less.
And I will say, like, the reason I'm concerned about Ricky is not even so much Ricky. It's a lot to do with Purdy, because we saw this with Jimmy. Like, he started throwing his receivers into trouble a lot, and Purdy's starting to throw his receivers into trouble a lot. And it's like they're not all Debo. They're not all these big bodies that can catch a football and take an absolute beating and then be fine. Like, I mean, Debo looks as healthy as he's ever been now at Jaden Daniels. Like, it can't be that much of a coincidence. It can't be like, oh yeah, this is who Debo was. He hasn't been it since 2021, but I don't know, man. Like, Ricky has to stay on the field. It's just because here's my thing, right? Next year in the draft, what do you target? We need a wide receiver one, maybe, depending on what they do with BA, because Ricky can't stay on the field. So do you target offensive line, or do you target a receiver that we desperately need?
Offensive line. Because as much as you could say they need a wide receiver desperately, they need offensive line even more desperately. And I think that the number is they've drafted 13 wide receivers since 2017. Wide receivers and 10 offensive linemen. Like 5 people play on the offensive line, only 10. So yeah, man, and it's their fault. Oh, you need a wide receiver. Well, you should have been drafting offensive lineman the last 4 years.
Yeah,
have to. And you know what? If you need a wide receiver, sign Kendrick Bourne, man. Love Kendrick Bourne.
he always has to make
not to a 3-year, 5-year deal, like a 1-year deal.
He always has to make one awful mistake. Like, he has to make like a big third down drop or busted route. But then after that, he's like, all right, I'm balling now.
I mean, you never know which wide receiver a quarterback's going to trust and want to throw the ball to. And all I know is that Mac loves Kendrick Bourne. I don't know how Brock Purdy feels about him, but if Mac's playing, Kendrick Bourne needs to be playing, because he's going to get 9 targets.
150 yards, seemingly.
100 mil.
Like, dude, I don't know. It's really rough. It's one of those things where it's just Demarcus Robinson's been bad. Ricky Pearsall's hurt. BA's still hurt. Jauan doesn't want to be here. So you need Ricky back. Like, he's got to come back, and he's got to figure out a way to stay healthy. I don't know how you do it. I'm not trying to be, insensitive to Ricky Pearsall, but dude, this is coming on like 2 years, and you're about to have played like your 6th game. Like, come on, bro.
All day, every day, Kim says Dylan Gabriel and Brock Purdy are the same quarterback. That is what Brock would have looked like if he got drafted by a bad team from the beginning.
Okay, I have a theory.
Crossed my mind. I was watching Dylan Gabriel play like complete butt cheeks, and I was thinking he only got drafted because Brock Purdy exists.
Dude, okay, so here's my theory. I think teams need to go back to discriminating about height. They stopped doing that because Russell Wilson and Drew Brees existed. And so now you have like the Kyler Murrays. Okay, here's the thing. If Kyler Murray can't be successful, he is more talented than Dylan Gabriel, Brock Purdy, and Bryce Young combined into one human being. He has more talent than all 3 of them. If he can't be successful, stop drafting short quarterbacks. Please. They're not going to be Russell Wilson or Drew Brees. That's why you know both of their names, because they're not common.
And I noticed when they drafted Curtis Rourke, and you asked them like in the offseason, what do you like about Curtis? They kept being like his size.
Oh yeah, he's a big boy.
His size.
Yeah. He's what, 6'5", or is he 6'4"?
6'4". He can see the
Yeah.
field. Yeah.
I see everyone saying Kyle is obsessed with this kid. Why is this a whole thing?
Michael Allen says, did Kyle have enough of Brock's turnovers week 1?
Sadly, no, because he put him
No,
back
because
in
then he
week
threw him out there week 4.
4.
Sadly, no. All right, it's what time of the show it is. It's Prize Picks time. Let's see where we're at with the Niners. The thing about Prize Picks on a Wednesday is that the Niners, the Prize Picks often hasn't decided who the quarterback's going to be. Let's see if they figured it out.
So bad.
You know what I mean? Nope. Okay,
Oh
so we're working blind here a little bit with the Niners. Let's start with Michael Penix.
Yep.
225.5 passing yards against a team with no pass rush.
Dude, our safeties are Marquise Siegel and Jair Brown. Give him the more.
Should I start Kyle Pitts on my fantasy team this week? He sucks.
Kyle Pitts still get the ball? I feel like he doesn't get the ball even when they're playing well.
He's awful. Okay, rushing yards. Christian, 60 and a half.
Less. I'm going to take it every time. He's not gone.
Look at that. Look at that.
Oh, dude. It's awful.
All right. Thank you, Christian. Bijan, best running back in the league, 79.5. What do you say?
Yes, more. I love Bijan Robinson, man. I wish we'd trade the farm for him.
The farm wouldn't be enough.
It would be. Give him Nick Bosa, Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy, and take Penix and Bijan.
No Niners receivers are on the board because we don't know who the quarterback is. What about McCaffrey? 55.5 receiving yards.
Bro, he's what? I think he's 7th in receiving yards in the NFL. It's insane.
They're justifying their contract by throwing him the ball.
Dude. Wow.
Interceptions.
Kyle Pitts is at 39.5.
You want a free one?
Yeah, go
How about this one?
Yeah, less.
How about a free one right there? Easy. Longest completion. 34.5.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Siegel's definitely good for one. He's good for one, yeah.
What can I not combine? What are you talking about? Which ones?
Oh, Christian's receiving yards and rushing yards. We did them twice. Oh, wait. Can we maybe not bet on Penix like 3 times?
We're picking.
Sorry,
picking.
Penix 3
I
times.
like all right, let's take the passing yards out. What?
Yeah, it's because Penix. Yeah, I think you could just get rid of longest completion because he's not throwing a pick. There you go.
All right. But then we got to go back and put the other ones. Hold on.
All right, hold on, guys.
This is very important.
Okay.
Well, here we go. Jauan Jennings, will he score a touchdown?
Well, you can't put less.
Kittle.
No, Christian. He's for Kittle. Yeah, let's do more on Kittle.
Let's do Kittle. You think Christian will score a touchdown?
Oh, wait, no, we can't do Christian. Sorry. Drake London, go more.
All right. Those are the picks. Those are some great prize picks, some of our best. We had a lot of we were convicted about them. I'm so convicted. I'm gonna bump it up to 25. 25.
Sheesh.
Yeah, that's right, baby. Submit in the lineup. Download Prize Picks today on your phone. It's an app. Use the promo code COHN, play $5, and then boom, instantly you get $50 in lineups when you use promo code COHN. Check it out. Available in 45 states. Okay, before we finish, it's devastating that the Niners have lost Fred Warner. It's worth remembering that the Niners drafted and developed Fred Warner. They drafted and developed D Winners. They drafted and developed Dre Greenlaw. They signed and developed Azeez Al-Shaair. Is Tatum Bethune the next good Niners linebacker?
Okay, 1, D Winner sucks. But 2, if Tatum Bethune comes in and he ends up being a baller, I am convinced the Niners will never miss on a Mike linebacker. You got Fred, you got Willis, Borland, his year. They'll just never miss. So if he is, I'm so curious what's going to happen with Fred because they just paid him so much money. What if this dude comes in and balls, like he gets our first interception and he's just everywhere?
Do you know that he had 10 tackles and 45 snaps against the Bucs?
That's actually
crazy. You know that the Bucs running back Rachaad White, who's pretty good, He's on my fantasy team this year. Averaged 2.1 yards per carry in the second half when Fred Warner was out. I'm not saying he's better than Fred Warner, but I do think he might be good.
I think he's
he
good
might
at
be
run
good.
game, but that pass game looked absolutely brutal. They were picking on him and Siegel every time they were throwing it at him.
That's
over
true.
the middle.
That's true. Maybe he'll
So,
be better as he gets a little bit more experience.
yeah, like we'll
But-
see this week. Obviously, Fred did a lot. You could tell by, how bad the defense fell apart. But, dude, if he ends up being good, I'm convinced they could take me and make me an all-pro linebacker.
Well, that's what I want to say. I think we've talked a lot about through the years about the Niners' position coaches and who the best ones are. And the guys who get a lot of love are always Chris Forster, the offensive line coach, Chris Kasarik, the defensive line coach, and Bobby Turner, the running back coach. And they're all good coaches for sure. But isn't Johnny Holland the best? I mean, when does he ever miss? You said D. Winters sucks. Yeah, I mean, he's a 6th-round pick who's like starting right now. I mean, I don't know how many other linebacker coaches could have gotten D. Winters this far. But yeah, he's not Dre Greenlaw. Still, he developed Dre Greenlaw and Fred, and we'll see what he does with Tatum.
Reuben Foster was also very, very good.
Yeah, he didn't have much time to work with Reuben.
No, but yeah, I mean, dude, like at this point, it's starting to be like, when are they ever going to find a bad linebacker? Linebacker seems to always be the position we're set at. And if this guy comes in and balls, and again, we got to temper our expectations because Fred Warner is literally the best linebacker in the NFL, and it's not close. But if this dude comes in and looks really good, that's crazy. Like if he comes in and even does 75% of what Fred Warner could do, that's absurd. Even 50%, I'd be like, damn, that linebacker coach should have a job tomorrow as a DC.
I mean, it's the one position on the team where you can say, don't ever sign anyone. Don't sign Quan Alexander. Don't sign Devondre Campbell. Just keep drafting and developing as long as you got Johnny Holland on your roster.
Dude, and I don't get it. Like, I wish all of our coaches could develop like this. Like, dude, they're crazy. Like, get Michael with him just to, just for motivation.
Yeah, I mean, I think Chris Kasarik has a lot to answer for, man. Nick Bosa's out. What are you going to do, man? Because Johnny Holland would figure it out with his group. He's going to figure it out with his group.
That is the scary thing, though, is like, what is this defense going to look like against Atlanta? Like, but here's my thing, too. If Brock plays, I don't want to hear an excuse because he is paid to win shootouts. If he has to go into a shootout, you got to
I want to see what Drake London looks like against Lenore and Stout because Bernardo Green has been playing really well the last couple of weeks, and he's big. Drake London is huge. Yeah, what's up to Stout going to do in that matchup? What's Lenore going to do in that matchup?
I actually have questions about this. So with Lenore, I love Lenore, but isn't it starting to get a little bit, I don't know, questiony that he can't really get an interception?
No one can.
But he's like the guy, right? He's supposed to be like, if they throw to him, I'm punishing you for it. Like, sure, swatting the ball away is great. Like, I'm not complaining. But I feel like with a guy you're paying near $100 million, like, I want an impact play from you. Like, we always talk about, like, Nick won us a game. Fred won us a game. But when's Demo going to win us a game?
It's a fair point. I like Demo, but he hasn't made much of an impact so far this year.
Right? Like, and so, like, say Tatum Bethune comes in and he's just a beast. What if he wins us next week? What if he gets the game-winning pick? Like,
Alfred Collins has made a play.
Yeah, Alfred Collins made a game-winning play. So it's like, I want to see Demo when they're throwing it to him because Drake London, again, like we just said, I want to see some. I don't want to see like, oh, dang it, he burned by Siegel. Well, then where were you? Like his play last week was him not bumping, him failing to bump, and that was their winning touchdown. So I don't know, man. I hope the best for Tatum Bethune, though. Everyone seems really, really high on him. Like you were saying that you think he's going to be a baller. I've seen a bunch of people who are watching practices saying he's going to be a baller. Kyle and Sala both said like, oh yeah, this guy's him. So I don't know, man. I'm excited to see him because last week he looked meh.
Stefan says, what is the criteria to make the Niners core?
Be friends with George Kittle and Kyle Juszczyk.
Correct. That was the correct answer. Jewish guy says, Grant, your last 2 Apple Podcast episodes won't play. thank you for alerting me. This was brought to my attention this morning, and I assure you that the tech people are working on this tirelessly, and this should be fixed soon. They told me not to worry about it, but I'm worried. But I want you not to worry, and I appreciate you for letting me know. It's frustrating. But it'll be back. It'll be back. They're fixing it as we speak. Don't worry. Check it out again tomorrow. All right. Well, it's been a great show.
It has been. I
like a phenomenal show.
Do you think we're going to actually no, I had one more question before we call off, because I was talking about this on a different show. Do you think to help the run game, when Brock comes back healthy, should we start running what the Giants are running with Dart? More of like an RPO heavy with read options with Brock Purdy starting to run. Do you think that could be the solution? Because we're not going to fix an offensive line overnight. But I think that could,
if his toe's better and he can run around, that could help him.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and just tell Brock, but I don't care if you're going to lose a yard or two, get down. Just get down. I don't want you to get hit, but we need to start creating some space for you and Christian.
That could work. I like some things that the Falcons did on Monday night. That was, thought the Niners could apply to Christian. I don't know if you noticed it, but there was one play where Bijan was at like wide receiver and then went in like ghost motion to get the end around, got the end around. I mean, could we see Christian do that one time? And then there was another play where he's a wide receiver and he goes in jet sweep motion. They fake the handoff to him and they give it to Tyler Algier, who goes for a big gain. Like, this is stuff I'd like to see the Niners do with Christian. We talked about it last week. Like, make him a decoy. Don't put him in the backfield every time.
Yeah, I really want to see like Purdy, and this is again when he's healthy, not with turf toe. When he's 100% healthy, I feel like it would help him as well. Because we've been saying it. Purdy's really good when the run game's really good. But the run game can't be really good this year. It sucks. So the only way to make it really good is to now make yourself a threat to run the football. And Purdy's quick in bursts. So I was thinking like maybe we do what they do with Jackson Dart. You know, get a few chunk yards here, there. And now they have to worry. And then your play action magically works again. That's my
possible. I like it. But I'm expecting the Mac attack.
Yeah, I'm expecting Mac this weekend. Do you think we win?
No.
Dang.
No. That defense looks pretty good. But we'll see. I didn't think they beat the Rams. They beat the Rams.
I think they win.
I like your optimism. Guys, thanks for watching. Tyler's picking the 49ers. Make sure you follow him on Twitter for more positivity. He's known on X for boosting. Thanks for watching.